What up? This is Coach Liebs, wide receivers coach and creator of the Sideline Hustle, and welcome to Wide Receiver Film Room Episode 2. This one is really special to me. We are focusing on Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Mohamed Sanu. I've been using his film to teach a lot of my receivers over the last 4 or 5 years. Obviously, because of our Rutgers connection, I was a GA and assistant receivers coach at Rutgers 2013, 2014, 2015. While I was there, Sanu was always kind of the face of the wide receiver family that Rutgers had built. So I was always using his film to teach, always learning from some of his past Rutgers film and then some of the NFL film that we had access to. Mo and I have become pretty close and we talk all the time on Instagram, and I can't thank him enough for the support that he's shown Sideline Hustle. It's really exciting for me now to go take a deep dive into his game, as a 7-8 year NFL veteran and really take a look at how his game has developed and what kind of things he's doing now to get himself open and keep himself playing in the league at a high level. What you're going to see when you watch this film is an incredibly tough wide receiver, someone who's in the right place all the time, someone who's always doing the right things. His game isn't overly flashy, but he's reliable. And having a guy like that in your room as a coach, that's a coach's dream. When you have that guy who you can count on to be in the right place, to do the right things, and to make the important plays when he's called upon. I'm excited to watch this film with you guys. It's a 3-game breakdown of Mohamed Sanu. We're going to look at week 4 against the Bengals, week 16 against the Panthers, and week 17 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, so let's get right into it. This is the first play of the game against the Bengals. You can see him up top here. And one thing I was really looking at is how his run blocking was going to be, because I know in college he was a dog. Like he was a reliable run blocker. It was something he was called upon to do a lot, and he answered the bell. And this is just cool to see the first play of the game, taking pride in flat leading, going to cut off that cover 4 safety. This isn't anything crazy. He's not whooping the guy's ass. He's not overly physical, but he's where he needs to be. Whereas if this ball bounces and this running back can kind of squirt out of this hole, Sanu's going to be there to cut off the safety and make sure he has a body on a body, and that safety's not going to make the tackle. I'm looking for this every time, and it's cool to see Mo take pride in that and make sure he's in the right position. All right, this is the second drive of the game. You see Sanu here in the slot to the bottom. All right, they use a little bit of motion. You see the linebacker kind of run inside with the tight end who's motioning inside. So he sees the 2 high safeties. He knows it's some sort of 2-man. So rather than just run right to the flat, which is how the route is drawn on paper, he's going to attack the DB's leverage, get him to jump inside a little bit, and then break this off to the flat. Obviously, if Matt Ryan was looking that way, he could hit Sanu. He's wide open. And really good play here by Julio Jones up top. He wins inside right away. And anytime you're running this kind of bang 8 post, what I call a dagger post, you know that if you get inside of the line of scrimmage just like that, the route's over. So Julio Jones gets inside right away. The route's over, and all you got to do is push it vertical to get the DB to run upfield and then snap it off. And as long as Matt Ryan hits you with good timing, you're going to win. That's exactly what happens there. Good job winning inside, off the ball right away. Bang it right there. Ball's on you. Good completion, good first down, way to finish the catch. Here's Sanu up top here, coming in motion. He sees the guy run with him. He knows he's playing against man-to-man. All right, so what does he do? He dives inside, gets the DB to run inside with him, and then he snaps it back out on this kind of like this V route or almost like a slot sail route. He's open here. I think Ryan just misses him. There's an area in the field where Ryan's got to put the ball that gives Sanu a chance to catch this. I think he leads him a little bit too far upfield. But what I'm wondering from Sanu's perspective, just trying to find ways, could this route improve at all? I don't know what his rules are. I don't know what his landmarks are on this play, but I wonder, could he have pushed this vertically one more revolution? And you see when he wins inside here versus the DB, he gets the DB running vertically with his shoulders turned to the sideline. But as soon as the DB really commits to him running in oh shit mode and running in chase mode, that's when Sanu snaps this off flat to the sideline. Could he have pushed this a little bit more vertical, gotten the DB to run in chase mode a little bit longer, and then would he have had an easier time winning to the sideline to create some more separation? That'd be the one coaching point I have is can you push this a little bit more vertical and snap this off a little bit more suddenly? But it's hard to know without knowing what his rules are, what his landmarks are. Bottom line is he gets himself open. Ryan just got to throw this more to the sideline and less upfield. What I don't like to see is Sanu's body language at the end. Get your head up. All right, pick your head up. Stay positive for your quarterback. Stay positive for your teammates. You're a leader on this team, and don't let the opponent see that. Don't let your teammates see that. All right, here's Sanu down bottom in the slot. This is one of my favorite reps of the game right here. He's going to go in motion. He has a defender running with him, so you know it's man-to-man. Okay, when he gets to the opposite side of the formation, he sees that the man defender over the tight end here, number 81, he's outside leverage. You can kind of see him on the side of your screen right here. That tells him that in a man-to-man situation, if he's playing outside leverage, that the Bengals probably have help inside. And that means that his man defender is going to want to play him outside leverage. So what does Sanu do? He kind of stacks himself right behind the tight end, forcing the DB to get outside and declare his technique right away. All right, Sanu's going to run kind of a basic route here, which is like a 10 to 12 yard dig route. And so he knows pre-snap he's got outside leverage. The route's over. Sanu does a really good job attacking leverage right off the ball. You can see his initial stem is aimed outside to widen the DB a little further. Okay, he sees he has inside leverage. Now just push your depth to 10 yards. Don't give away where you're breaking too early. Make the defender think you're running vertical. Okay, he does a great job of that here. Pushes all the way to 10, and then he snaps it off suddenly. And watch how friendly he is. He's not drifting at all. Okay, he's coming flat. He's coming across the field with good tempo, and he's making himself available to the quarterback. Catch the ball, pierce the defense, and get down right away. All right, here's Sanu up top here in the slot, kind of a condensed formation. This is one where I feel like he didn't really do enough here to get open. I don't know, again, what his rules are, what kind of freedom he has in this route, but he's running what's kind of like a deep OTB, like a deep, 12-yard over-the-ball route. And I just felt like he could have given some sort of stem at the top here to lose the defender. I understand he's getting grabbed at the top. As receivers, I want to focus on what kind of tools could you use to get yourself open a little easier. And to me, if you get to the top here at about 8-9 yards and give a hard stem to the post, get the defender to defend the post, run over the top, and then you shut it down a little more suddenly, I think that's going to give you a better chance to get open. You see Mo, he's just kind of oozing into this the whole time here and doesn't really give anything violent, anything sudden to shake the defender. He's just kind of oozing into this, and when he gets grabbed up and there's no flag, the defender's all over him. All right, here's Sanu here on the bottom. He's the outside receiver. All right, you can see that they see pressure coming. I think that's Calvin Ridley in the slot, sees the pressure coming. He's calling it out before the ball is snapped right there. So Mo knows this. He just gives a little bit of a hesitation just to make sure the guy comes. As soon as he comes, he's running a second inside hitch route, second inside drop pop. All right, the Falcons, based on their scheme, they want a lot of their receivers to have their outside foot up. So based on the way I would teach it, I would normally teach a receiver to have his inside foot up. That would help him gain another half yard, another yard here as far as depth. As soon as you see that defender come, you know you're probably getting the ball. You just got to stay away from that linebacker who's expanding to the flat here. He's going to be really your only threat of guys that can cover you. Stay away from that guy. Run a sound hitch route. Expect the ball right away. He gets it. Catch and pierce. Fall forward for a first down. I love it. This is what you call a stair step. And it's when you're running a deep crossing route, you want to get the defender running vertical to defend any sort of vertical route up the field, and then you're going to snap it off flat when you get to your depth. That's exactly what Mo does here. Sanu has a great feel for it. He understands the timing. He understands where the ball needs to be located. And he just does a great job of winning inside right away and then pushing this all the way vertical. And look at what his vertical push does to the defender who's guarding him man-to-man, but look at what it does to the post safety. But now this forces the safety to commit, and the safety flips his hips and opens to the opposite side of the field. All right, once Sanu sees the safety flip his hips to the opposite side, he can get to his depth and snap it vertical, and he's got both of them lost. Ryan throws a great ball to the sideline where only Sanu's going to catch it. And then you see the emotions after the catch, making a big play. This is what leadership looks like in the NFL, guys. When you get up after a big play, you're showing emotion. You're telling your team, I got you. Keep throwing me the ball. I'm here. I'm playing with energy. I'm playing with a purpose. Give me the rock and let's keep going. Let's keep making these big plays. That's leadership right there. You love to see the emotion out of Sanu. It's just a delay route by Sanu where he's just trying to get a little chip on that defensive end, kind of just hold his ground, and then break to the flat late. And this is what I'm talking about with Sanu just being a veteran receiver. So you want to put your most reliable player here who you know is going to do it right, who you know is going to time it up right. But like I said, as a coach, it is so comforting to know that you have a guy who's reliable, who you can put in these situations and count on to do all these little things for you and execute his job. That's exactly what Sanu does here. It's a simple 7-8 yard gain. Keep the drive going, stay on pace, and let's keep rocking. All right, so now here's the same stick concept that they ran where they threw the ball to Julio Jones. They're getting to it a different way here. They're motioning the tight end from being the widest receiver into the number 2 spot. They get to the same kind of condensed set that they showed earlier, but now rather than running the shoot route to the flat, Sanu's running the little spot route right here. He understands who the defender is in conflict. It's this flat defender right here. The safety who's rolling down. They're playing, again, looks like cover 3, a one high zone coverage. As soon as this flat defender clears him, he's going to defend the flat right away. Sanu knows he's going to settle right inside of him and expect the ball. This is really simple stuff. Again, putting one guy in conflict. As soon as the flat defender buzzes to the flat to go defend the tight end, Sanu flips his head and eyes around. Good drop pop break point, catch and pierce, get a first down. Again, simple stuff, but you can't take this for granted, right? Not every receiver has the wherewithal to understand what the coverage is, understand who the defender is in conflict, and run his route off of him. Here's Sanu down here, down bottom in the slot. Ends up being the number 1 receiver down bottom with the motion. This little bang 8 route, what I call a dagger post, what I know some guys have called like a pop route. Usually I teach it as you want to break on your 3rd outside step, which gets you to you're breaking about 8 or 9 yards. But then your angle off the break, it varies on what kind of space is in front of you, what your relationship is to the defense, and it's kind of a feel route for the quarterback and the receiver. So he's got outside leverage press here. So Sanu knows he wants to make one hard jab outside. Again, we've talked about this a lot on Sideline Hustle. Anytime you have press coverage, you want to attack his leverage first. So if he's outside leverage here, even though you're running an inside breaking route, you don't want to just run inside and run away from the guy. Attack his leverage first, get him to jump outside. Now that gives you more room to work back inside. Just 2 quicks outside, get the defender to jump outside, and now once you're running vertical inside, the route's over. You know you've won the route. There's no way for the defender to defend this as long as you push your depth and you're sudden in the break area. 2 quicks outside and then break on your third outside step. 1, 2, break it off flat. As the receiver, you know where you're going and he doesn't. So anytime you snap it off suddenly, you're going to create separation. But again, what I love here, and this is what to me makes Sanu who he is the finish here. All right, he's looking for more. This is a violent finish. It's just finishing with a purpose. He gets the ball on his outside arm. So what does that do when you have the ball on your outside arm? It allows you now to use a weapon. He has his left arm free to use a stiff arm, use a weapon, shake these defenders off you and gain more. Get off me, boy. That's 1 defender off. That's 2 defenders off. Arm tackles aren't going to do it. This is going to take more than that to bring me down. I'm going to get an extra 10, 15 yards. I'm going to get up and show my teammates that I'm hyped. I'm here making big plays. I'm going to put the team on my back. I'm a veteran leader of this team. You guys can follow me to victory. This is a play that winners make, and I love to see this out of Sanu. I love the route. I love the plan, but most of all, I love the finish. All right, here's Sanu's first target of the Panthers game right here. He's the point guy in the bunch. They motion over to get to bunch. He's the point guy. What Carolina ends up doing is they end up checking to cover 2 here. What defenses love to keep 4 guys over 3. They always want to have a numbers advantage over the offensive players. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys here over the Atlanta receivers. A common way to defend the bunch is to play cover 2. You're going to see a low and outside leverage corner. His responsibility is to grab any immediate outside shallow threat. Okay, the safety's over the top to defend any immediate outside deep threat. You got the outside linebacker here who's kind of the hook to curl player. And now Kuechly, his job is really to defend the deep middle. Okay, in cover 2, there's no deep middle defender. So it's really his job to wall off any deep middle threat here, which ends up being Sanu. But they run 2 guys at that area right here. Julio Jones, who obviously is regarded as one of the top 3 receivers in the NFL, he's the guy who shuts it down here on the spot route. Kuechly sees that and he jumps Julio. And now that leaves nobody to defend Sanu. Sanu does a good job of winning inside the hook to curl player. All right, just get on the defender's toes, win inside right away. Now push this vertical. Now right here, you've got 2 guys running at Kuechly, and he's threatened by 2 guys at the same time. He chooses to defend Jones. Sanu has a good break point at the top, a speed drop break point, drop break drive line. Get your head and eyes around, tempo yourself right in that void in the middle of the field, catch and pierce, get the first down. All right, here's Mo playing quarterback here. I really love this rep. And again, this just speaks to how reliable Sanu is. They're just going to run zone read here. Okay, they're running inside zone to the right. You can see Sanu has his eyes on the unblocked defensive end to the left here. They're bringing this tight end back across the formation to what I call a hack block. He's going to be the lead blocker for Sanu if Sanu chooses to pull it. Okay, so he's reading this defensive end. Defensive end comes crashing downfield. So Sanu pulls the ball. Now he's out around the edge, and he's got this hack block coming across from the tight end as his lead blocker. Does a great job of just hesitating for a second to let this blocker set it up. He ends up kicking out the linebacker who's scraping over the top. Sanu sticks his foot in the ground, finishes right inside that, and now he's running to daylight. Good job here by Sanu. You're running a stick route. Don't just run outside right away. If you run outside right away, that's going to take the defender's momentum towards you. All right, you want to attack his leverage first. He's inside leverage, so run right at him. Once you're attacking his leverage, the defender doesn't know what you're doing. He doesn't know if you're going to cross his face, if you're going to push vertical. You know, he's kind of screwed right here. You're making everything look the same. So it's a good job stemming inside and then just give a little hesitation and break back out. Really good understanding of coverage here. Sanu sees with the motion that they're checking to some sort of too high coverage. Looks like it could be cover 2 with a heavy inside leverage linebacker, outside leverage cornerback, and a high and wide safety. Sanu knows it's cover 2. He understands he wants to catch it in the void between the corner and the linebacker. Once he breaks out on the stick route, he tempos himself. He's not running himself into a headache. If he came out of this full speed, he's going to run himself into the corner who's going to take his head off. Catch and pierce right away. Julio Jones does a good job outside releasing the corner, making a little contact outside to force the corner to hesitate. All right, here's one of my favorite reps of the 3-game breakdown. Here's a deep over by Sanu, and I mentioned previously him and Ryan just have a great feel for this. But the really great part about this is as Sanu is pushing vertically and pushing across the field, he gets his eyes across the field. Okay, and you can see right here, he sees this outside linebacker who's zone dropping. So Sanu knows that he can't stay on the move. He has to throttle himself down around the opposite hash because he doesn't want that linebacker to become a factor. Before I ever broke this play down as part of this film study, I actually had done a teach tape showing the difference between running a deep over versus man and versus zone. So here's the teach tape right here. And it just shows, again, it's nothing crazy, but it's a simple adjustment that Sanu's making because he has an understanding of coverage. He has an understanding of how to adjust his route versus different coverages. Versus zone coverage, you want to throttle down. You want to tempo yourself and catch the ball in the opposite hash. All right, now you see versus man coverage when he's got a defender running with him. You want to push vertical and you want to snap this off flat on what I call a stair step, snap it off flat. Now you want to stay on the move. All right, versus man coverage, always stay on the move, run away from that man defender. Same route called in the huddle, but two different ways of executing it versus different ways of coverage. What you see as a commonality on both reps is Mohamed Sanu knows how to finish with a purpose. He has the ball in his hand. He's finishing with a violent purpose to go score a touchdown. He's able to do it on both occasions here. Lower your shoulder, finish, get into the end zone. This is what makes Mo a great player is these little adjustments here. Again, with this kind of stick concept inside, what I thought really could have happened is I thought Sanu could have been more patient. I thought he rushed us a little bit. If you watch the tempo of this route versus the last route, he was much more patient on the last route. And when he looks inside and you don't see any pressure coming, you see 7 guys dropping, a 4-man rush, there's no pressure. There's no reason to really rush this route like he does. Continue to push your depth. I'd like to see him stem inside a little bit more. And what stemming inside is going to do, it's going to make this corner kind of defend the flat more and not jump inside right away. Push this linebacker back inside a little bit more and just create more of a void right here between the linebacker and the corner. I would love for Sanu just to be a little bit more patient. Here's Sanu now, week 17 versus the Bucs. All right, so here's this crossing route again. Here's this deep over. This one's an interesting one for me. This is the 1 rep of the 3-game breakdown that him and Ryan didn't complete. All right, and he's running right at this roll safety who comes rolling down here. Okay, and he's got a decision to make once he gets on his toes. Do you cross his face and win inside of him and then push vertical and snap it off? Or do you win over the top like he does and kind of win with speed? What I would tell the receiver is there's no right or wrong answer. Just make a full speed decision. What you can't do is hesitate and be caught in the middle sometime and prevent yourself from playing decisive football. Whatever you do, just make a sound, fast decision. So Sanu does that here. What I like here is he's playing decisively. All right, he chooses to go outside decisively. He doesn't lose any speed. Right here, at the time the ball is thrown, Sanu has separation. Throw the ball to the sideline. Sanu has the defender beat. Mo can run and go get it. All right, but now back to this decision when he gets on the defender's toes. I really would prefer that Sanu win inside here. I would love for Sanu here to stick his foot in the ground when he gets on the defender's toes, rip through, take your shoulder away, win inside, and now lean back into the defender. Once you lean back into him, now it becomes a true stair step. To me, I think he's really going to gain separation and really win here if he made that decision. Hooper's going to go out and get the defender aligned directly over Sanu. Sanu takes 1 step just for timing purposes, presents his number to the quarterback, and now he's running inside. He's got 2 linemen who are running out to be his lead blockers right away, and he's got Hooper. Sanu does a great job catching it. He wants to get inside of the kick-out block by Hooper, and then work yourself back outside away from all the mess and all the big bodies inside. He gets inside of that kick-out block. You can see he's looking to go back outside, but then he gets the cut block by his offensive lineman, so he ends up finishing inside. It's a good 10 to 12 yard gain. Good job keeping the ball tucked and having ball security by Sanu. Here's Sanu down bottom here. Loose coverage, running a hitch with his inside foot up. Second inside drop pop. I think his stance could just be a little bit better. He's a little bit upright in his stance, and you can see when the ball snapped, he's dipping down. As a coach who's a stickler on details, I would tell him to be lower so you're in that position right away and you don't have to waste this movement of dipping down to get going, getting that low athletic stance from the start. Second inside drop pop, push vertical. Everything's a fade till it's not on these hitches. Loose coverage, like I said, just taking the free access throw, catch it, pierce, get the first down, fight for extra yardage. Simple play, simple hitch route, well executed by Sanu. All right, we saw this play earlier in the first game against the Bengals, just running this little delay route. Okay, this is a hard run action going away from him. So what would he do on hard run action? He would flat lead and go cut this linebacker off. So his only job here is just to make that linebacker feel like that's what he's doing. So he stems inside, tempos himself, the hard run action in front of him, plus the linebacker feeling Sanu kind of running at him like he would if it was a cutoff block. That causes the defender to bite inside. Ryan finishes the play fake, and then there's Sanu presenting himself wide open in the flat. Again, nothing flashy, nothing that looks cool on Instagram. This doesn't take, a lot of crazy footwork or anything like that. But what this is just really good understanding of the concept, really good understanding of how to sell the play. And now he can snap it back outside and finish for a first down. All right, this is 3rd and 17. So Sanu realizes that he's got to get past his sticks. So he's got to push vertical and get across the field. All right, if he has his eyes up and sees the rotation of these safeties, he knows that this roll safety, that's the guy that he has to get over the top of, and that's the defender that Ryan's going to throw the ball off of. Get vertical, attack the defender right over you, knowing that he has no shot of covering you once you break across the field, but just stay away from that buzz safety and try to slip behind him. And this is just, again, a good understanding of how to run this route versus zone coverage. Sanu doesn't show his eyes until he's kind of in position to clear that safety. Once he does, Ryan puts us in a perfect spot right outside the roll safety to the sideline where only Sanu can go get it. I think that they just have a great connection on these deep over routes. All right, 3rd and 1 here. They go back to the Wildcat quarterback with Sanu. All right, so good job. They don't get a lot of push up front here. All right, he sees this even front. You got a 2-eye technique right here to the right. They're running inside zone to the right. He knows that the center and right guard are going to double team this 2-eye right here. So you want to run right behind that double team and just find a way to get a yard. Just stick your head in the ground, get north and south, and get 1 yard. That's all you need. So it's just good awareness here by Sanu. Not trying to do too much. You're not trying to create a home run play. You're just trying to keep the drive alive. All right, love this here. Some more blocking examples from Sanu. All right, they're running toss alley here. Sanu is the #1 receiver up here to the top, and his job is just to capture the defender's outside shoulder. So he's got the force player. He's got this outside linebacker who's in charge of forcing everything back inside to his help. So what Sanu wants to do is he wants to get on this guy's outside shoulder and try to pin him inside. Watch how he doesn't try to punch him with his arms extended. He immediately gets into his body. Take the air out, as I call it. You want your chest to his chest. Take the air out. Have no room for him to move in between, and then pin him inside and run your feet. And here comes Mo here. His job is to block down on the defender inside of him. He does that. He's physical, but you can see, again, he's leading with his chest, all right? A lot of the mistake a lot of receivers make is they try to leave with their arms extended. You have no power out here. When your arms are extended right here, defenders can ragdoll you. You're much stronger with your arms in tight. You want to get your chest to his chest, grab onto his breastplate, and you want no air in between you and him, so there's no separation and no room for the defender to go. 2 things are beneficial of this. A, like I said, you have the most power, but this is also going to prevent holding calls. Holding calls happen when your arms are out extended, the defender ragdolls you, and now your arms come out outside of your framework where the refs can see it. That's a hold. If they're in tight right here into your body, you're never going to get called for hold because your arms aren't going to extend outside your framework. So that's a huge coaching point here, something Sanu does a great job of, 2 run blocking plays in a row. All right, so that's all we've got for episode 2 of Wide Receiver Film Room featuring Mohamed Sanu. He's a receiver I have the utmost respect for and someone who on a personal level I've really come to care for. So I wanted to do my due diligence. The way he's getting open is because he has great technique and because he has a great understanding of the game. And that's why I wanted to study him first after the Edelman highlights, is because I think there's so much of his game that every receiver at every level can take and translate to their own game. And I'm very impressed by his game. I'm just very impressed by the way he plays the game, the effort, the toughness, the tenacity that he plays the game. You know, that's why he's a 7-8 year NFL veteran, and he's one of the best #2 wide receivers in the NFL. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to working with Mo in person and adding anything I can to his game and just doing whatever I can to help prepare him for a really great 2019 season. That's it for Wide Receiver Film Room episode 2. This is Coach Liebs. I will see you guys next time. Peace.
From the sidelines, we gotta hustle because we gotta eat.
Everybody reach to the top. Everybody